Om Shanti, everyone. Warm greetings. Welcome to another episode of the Eight Powers. And so today we have Sister Dorothy with us. And Sister Dorothy is going to delve and unwrap the power to pack up or the power to let go. And if you have any questions of Sister Dorothy, I want you to chat it to me, not to her, because she'll be doing the presentation. And I am listed under SOI, Sister Shireen. Fabulous. Take it away, Sister Dorothy.
Very good. Thank you, Shireen Ben. Yes, I will take it away. So the eight powers, for me, they're one of the most delightful lessons that we can learn and that we can look at and not only look at, begin to practice deeply. And why do I say that? Because it's a way of improving our relationships. It's a way of improving the way we look at scenes that are before us. And sometimes, though, the eight powers, the spiritual powers, are very subtle. And when I mean they're subtle, that we don't actually see them, but the impact of them is very, very profound in our relationships, to improve them, to make them better. In the same way, we don't see Wi-Fi, we don't see Bluetooth, we don't see wireless phones, and yet they have transformed our lives tremendously. And this is what I feel about each of the eight spiritual powers that we are presenting. Last week, someone suggested that at the end we share how the spiritual power that we're working on this week, give an example of how it transformed a relationship, a situation, or even the self. So we will continue to do that this week. And so we're going to be sharing this week about the eight, hold on here, the power to let go. We can call it the power to let go, or you might say the power to pack up. But either way, it means the same. It means just letting go of anything wasteful. But before we start any power, or actually before we even start anything that's important in our lives, important to do, a meeting, a relationship, which is almost anything in our life, we like to start with a dignified pause. That means like a mini meditation. And it means just getting your thought power together so we can just right now breathe in peace and exhale peace. So the last week we went over the power to withdraw and go into yourself and be silent. And so to start everything we do, that is important with that same power, the power to withdraw. In other words, to go inside yourself, to refresh yourself, to set your stage. And as you see on the screen, the power of taking this dignified pause is remembering again who you are, that you're not the body that you see, that you take care of so well, but the soul within the body. And that soul, you, the soul, also need care for. So the purpose is to improve our lives, to make sure that we're living a better life. And so how do we do that? Well, we have to pack up all the waste thoughts that we have. Now, this is what I call very subtle. Many of us have lots of waste thoughts, and we don't even look at them as waste thoughts. I wonder if my hair is okay. I wonder what these people are thinking about. Are they looking at me funny? These are all waste thoughts. So they're subtle. Many times we don't even notice that we have these kinds of thoughts. And waste thoughts means waste energy. None of us want to waste our energy. Our energy is too valuable. You know, the cost of energy is going up. Electrical energy, gas, it's all going up in price. And so is our energy. Every minute that we can save and produce beautiful thoughts will allow us to flourish in our life. So we're going to look at these things today and kind of see how we can change tracks. In other words, you might be thinking about something and you identify it as a waste thought. Well, how do you change tracks to that waste thought? So these are some of the things that we'll explore. And one of the things that will help us is, first of all, to first realize the benefit that we take from this power, the power to let go or to pack up the waste. I like the way of saying it, the power to let go. But when we let go of all these wasteful things, they could be resentments, they could be anger, it could be annoyances, it could be all these destructive thoughts that we have. When we finally just let them go, past memories, hurtful memories, people who have hurt us. Have any of you ever been hurt? Yes, of course you have. And do any of you ever think about those hurts? Probably, occasionally at least, you may think of these things. But when we can learn and train ourselves to let go of these things, you will find that your heart becomes sweet. What does that mean, sweetheart? Well, it means that others are going to like you more, and even you are going to like yourself more, because it's a pleasantry that comes into your life. And the benefit is that there's richness in living in the present. Many times we think of our resentments or things that went wrong in the past. It steals away our present time. And once our present time is stolen, then we don't have the future that we can rely on the way we would like to predict it. We're still living in the past. We're living in the past. We're losing the present. And we're also losing the future. So we're losing the future possibilities. You see, every thought that I have right now, every thought that you have right now is going to predict the next day, the next week, the future. Everything is based on a karmic return. So what we feel today, what we think today, what we are today will let us know what tomorrow is and the possibilities of tomorrow. And so I put up here the word realize. So we have to realize the benefit, not just understand it, but understanding is good. But when you see the realness and you realize, yes, I want a life filled with richness. I want a life filled with sweetness. And I want a life where my future possibilities are grand. And so we're going to look at being insightful means to let go of the past. And when we say let go of the past, we don't just mean of the thoughts of the past, but we have to have a clearing of our heart. So the heart and the head come together and we actually let go of the past completely. In other words, we let go of the emotional component of the past. So I'm going to tell you a story now, and I just love this story. And this was a story written by a doctor, and I'm lost for his name right now, but I remember his book. It's called The Heart's Code. And in that book, he interviewed 75 patients who had transplants, heart transplants, lung transplants from one recipient accepting it from a donor who had left the body. And so there was one episode, one story where a small child of 10 years old left her body from a violent death. She was killed. And her heart was put into another little girl, 8-year-old girl. And soon after the transplant, the new recipient started to get these thoughts, these relentless thoughts. And the doctors and nurses thought she had lost it. So they sent her to the psychiatric ward. And the psychiatrist said, there's nothing wrong with her. She is reliving a memory. That's all she's doing. She's recalling a memory and living that memory. So then they called the police in. And through interrogation and investigation, the new recipient, this is important, the new recipient of the old heart, right? She had the old heart in her new body, in her body. And they were able to find out from the heart gave the head the information. The feelings were so intense that she was able to she knew the person who had killed the previous person. She named his name because he was familiar. And she even remembered her last words. And so the police did a thorough investigation, and sure enough, they put him in the jail, and he's still in jail now. So why I'm telling you this story is that we put lots of things in our heart. We think we've cleared the head. Okay, I wish him good wishes. But what's really inside? Do we have unlimited love for those who have hurt us, degraded us, abused us in the past? We have to have an absolutely clean, pure heart. And so getting rid of the emotional component for that. And so this is why it's important, because it affects you, it affects your vibration, it affects everything. And so we want to clean the head and clean the heart. And another thing, you know that more people die of cardiovascular diseases, heart diseases, than anything else. More than of cancer, more than of automobile accidents, even more than a pandemic. And so this tells us, psychiatrists tell us and cardiologists tell us that most heart diseases come from stress. stress. And so stress with that gets embedded in the heart. So making your heart as innocent, as loveful as a child. Do you know how many people in the United States alone die of heart disease? If you took two jetliners and they crashed head on, that's how many people die in the United States alone just of heart disease. So this is why we want to keep a happy heart. So understanding the lessons from the past, but to let go of ruminating the memory of the past. And if the memory of the past was so bad, why are you living it again and again and again? So these are questions we have to ask ourselves. And so this is why I'm saying we have to realize, we would like you to realize the benefits of letting the past be past. But we also want you to realize the detriments of not letting go of the past, even in your heart's feelings. So now we'll go on. And if you'd like to take a picture of these slides of your practice, because the practice just isn't a one-time thing, but it's a constant practice. It's living a life of spiritual power. And this I would like you to realize completely. And this is from Buddha: holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other guy to die. If you realize this one slide, you will never have anger again. Or if the anger starts to come up, your realization will cool that anger, melt it away. And so we want to reflect on these truths. And after the slide is completely up, you can take a picture of the slide again and see some of these things to reflect on. Ruminating on past hurts is destructive to myself. It lowers my vibration. It prevents me from having clear thoughts, waste thoughts means waste energy. But I can let go of the ruminating memory and just keep the lesson learned. So someone may have hurt you in the past, and you can forgive them, and you can love them, but you don't have to be their best friends again, or you don't have to trust them to the level that you did. So keep the lessons learned that we pick up on our journey. And reflect on cutting away everything that is destructive and unprolific. In other words, cut away everything that's negative, because anything that you think of that's negative is going to be destructive. And of course, the last one, which is one of my favorites, is holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other guy to die. Any kind of anger that you have in yourself is only destroying your heart and your whole self. So you may take a picture of that. And next, we are going to have a meditation that the sister will come on. And if you have any questions, remember, to send them to SOI Sister Shireen. Om Shanti. The power to let go. And there is power in letting go, empowering the self. I firstly move into my spiritual awareness, who I am, the soul, playing a part, an actor in this world called life. It is imperative to move inside your spiritual platform where there is safety. Just as when there's a storm and the wind pounds and the rain is pounding on you, you seek refuge by going in a building, by going in a car. Go inside your forehead. You are more than the body. You are consciousness, awareness. You are seeing through the eyes, and that data is stored within you. Consciousness, the soul, and what you hear, that data stored into you, you consciousness, the spirit, the soul. Know yourself. Know yourself. The soul sees the body. The body never sees the soul. As you sit in an elevated plane, high above the hero actor you are playing. Your perspective changes, and you are able to let go. Letting go, cutting away of everything that is destructive and unprolific. Seeing yourself as an actor acting and watching your act, but with power, spiritual power. Inviting the clear, pure energy of your Supreme Father, the Father of all, and washing away all the waste that wastes your energy. Absorb the love, the strength, the clarity, from the source of all goodness, the One, rejuvenating you as you let go of the unwanted past, freeing yourself to be who you were meant to be. All right. So I hope you took benefit in the meditation, because the meditation helps us to absorb these truths into our being. So if you took a picture of the slide and then you think about these things in your meditation, you can remember them and think about them very deeply, so they go deep within the soul, the memory banks of the soul. So now we're going to be going on with our lesson for today in letting go. And we know that it's a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. Cutting away everything that is destructive, wasteful, unprolific, it takes time, because some of these things have been building up over weeks, months, and for some, maybe even years, maybe even lifetimes. But the rewards are that you become free. You know, people give up their lives to become free, but what are we becoming free of? Free from past imprisonment. Yes, those old, wasteful, destructive thoughts have put you in a prison. And so every moment is a new moment and a new beginning when we can let go of the past and live in the present. We could say it's a new song, a new story. Think about this. If the story was so old and you hated it, why are you thinking about it? Let's create a new story for yourself. So letting go of the old. And when we do let go of the old, we receive what is new. And we're able to create what we want. We're able to create what is new. New relationships, new scenes, and even a new us. So, what does letting go require? It requires a few things. First of all, it requires courage. And so sometimes what has happened is we become comfortable in the familiar. We don't want change because we're just used to it. We become rote. We just do the same thing every day. We get out of bed on the same side every morning. And so it takes courage to face something different, something new, courage. And it's such a beautiful virtue. And it takes trust. You have to trust in yourself, trust in your own karmas, trust in the whole drama that everything is going to not only work out, but even be better. And then forgiveness. And this is a big one, to forgive any past wrongs that others have portrayed on you. It's the only way to go. You don't want to keep that poison inside yourself. And so seeing them as souls, as you see yourself as a soul, you're able to see them just acting out a part that was just a bad part. And to open your heart and to be able not only forgive, but love them. Yes, give them love. It's so rewarding. And then, of course, the love. And this is connected with forgiveness, because when you can truly forgive everyone and everything that has happened in your past, you become the embodiment of a loving being. And I can't think of anything that's more beautiful than that. And then the last letting go requires you to have realization. So again, understanding and to realize these truths. So take a picture of that. It's a beautiful screen there. Realization. You know, I don't think souls would hurt themselves intentionally. I think everything we do that hurts ourselves is unintentional. We do it because we're quick-tempered, but we didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to say that. And so it means my life starts anew from this point onwards. So you have just been born again. And so think about that. You know how much loved a newborn baby is, right? Everyone loves them, they're attracted to them. And so let go of all identity limitations. Well, what in the world does that mean? What is identity limitations? And those of you who have taken the course or the Story of Immortality course would maybe understand this more so, but for all of us. So let go of the identity limitations of who I thought I was and think about who the real me is. So many times we thought, well, I'm a teacher, I'm a mother, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a waitress, I'm an engineer. No, we are none of those me's. Those are things we do. But the me is doing those things, and the you is doing those things. And when I say you, I'm talking to the soul, you, the soul. And so letting go of the limitation, the false limitation of who we thought we were, and limitation of the perception we had of others. So seeing them as souls as well. And then letting go of all expectations. I'm talking about expectations from others, but also from yourself. Be easy, let go, and let things happen naturally, organically. And lastly, victim consciousness. And I think this is an important one. I think many souls have this victim consciousness. They victimize themselves and they think, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done this. I'm sorry I did this. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. Well, I mean, you can apologize for hurting someone's feelings, but don't be sorry, about anything. You don't have to be sorry about anything. Everything is perfectly fine. So, victim consciousness, don't see yourself as a victim. See yourself as a pure, peaceful, and powerful soul. And all of that will bring to us a new birth. And what does new birth mean? A new birth in awareness, a new birth in consciousness. So the power to let go of attachment to my body and how it shapes my sense of self-worth. Oh, I'm too fat, or my hair is too lumpy, or it's too dry, or it's this or that, or I'm too old, or I'm too young. It doesn't matter. Let go of the attachment to your body. Again, you are a pure, peaceful, powerful soul. And attachment to the ways of this world. Not all the ways are the best ways. We see there are so many opinions and they're all in conflict with one another. So decide for yourself your truth and to let go of the opinions of others. Be respectful, listen to others, but you don't have to believe what others tell you. You decide for yourself. Go inside yourself to your truth and come up with your truth. And this is a big one again, to let go of the shoulds and ought tos. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I should have done this. Oh, I wish I would have, or I ought to. Let go of all that. Just look at the beauty in your life and allow that beauty to keep flourishing. Because the more we look at the best in us and the best in others, we're actually fertilizing that trajectory of thinking. Yes, but every time we think of something that's destructive, negative, we got to let that go. We got to let that go, because I know all of you want to be pure, peaceful, and happy. So this is another practice that we're going to do, and you'll be able to take a picture of this when it's all up. The practice for the power to let go. So when we finally let go, we are living in the present. We've learned from the past. We appreciate life. We've closed the past chapters and we've replenished the self. Now, this next piece is important because I want you to look at what the lack of is, because the lack is that you're resenting something, you're resentful, you're blaming someone, or you're taking the blame yourself and you have guilt, or you're still influenced by the past and you have difficulty in meditating. All of these things, I want you to catch yourself when you see your mind is going back to the lack of list. And so there is the lack of list. Take a picture. Those are the things. Anytime your mind goes back to that, know what you're doing, what you've just done, and change your thoughts. And this is another practice. Make a list of the things you do not like. Yes, why make a list? You just told us that we shouldn't think about those things. Just one time, I would like you to make this list, because once you make this list, and I'd like you to put it on your refrigerator, because your refrigerator is a place you all always go to, I'm sure. And so once you've made the list, the magic in making the list is that when your mind goes back to that, because our minds are habitual, you will say, oh, that was on my do not like list. So that means that it should be on your do not think list. So make a list of the things you don't like, write them down, put that on your refrigerator. And then if your mind goes back to it, you think about, oh, that's on my do not think list. And now we're going to have another meditation. Om Shanti, the power in letting go. Move into my safe place, soul consciousness, my true reality, that I am the soul, pure, peaceful, and powerful. And I am playing my part very well and enjoying the scenes that come before me. As I sit in this very elevated plane of awareness, that I am the soul, observing and watching the part I am playing. They're just parts. I'm an actor playing a part. And this brings me peace. And I'm able to look at others in the same elevated plane of awareness. But they too are souls playing their parts. And I let it go. Whatever needs to go, holding me back, I let it go. There's a joy that comes with letting it go. A gift. And just as easy as it is to let go of the balloons, I let go of all the past hurts, all the destructive thoughts. I cut away everything, all the waste, resentments. Let it go. Let it fly away. And it becomes easy. Easy as balloons disappearing. Forevermore, I am free. I am empowered. Om Shanti. So, Sister Shireen.
Hello there.
Hello.
Right here.
I said I was going to give an example because they asked that last week, to give an example of a time when I let go. And I can remember, even living here at Peace Village, there was a brother that would always get angry, and I wanted to be his friend and help him. And I would always go to him and say, but why are you getting angry? Don't get angry. I didn't mean it this way. And then one day I woke up and I said, if that's his part to act angry, then I'm just going to accept him for that. And from that moment on, it became joyful. And then I realized that every time I was fighting, that his anger was coming in me in a very subtle way, because I was saying, don't get angry. It's not like that. When I let it go, I could see the vast difference of the two ways of approaching something.
Thank you for this very wonderful session, Dorothy Ben. In that story just now, what you shared of this anger and this brother, what you're saying is that very subtly, we should allow people to be who they are. If they want to be angry, let them be angry. It's not my problem. We don't need to fix anyone. If people want to hurt other people, let them do it. It's not my part to fix them. Right? Is that what you're saying?
In a way it is, but I still have good wishes. So my fixing is my clear vibration field of energy that I've created of being accepting, being love. The sun is still shining over here, even though it may be cloudy and stormy over there. Let not that storm affect my sunshine.
Right. So the only person you can really fix is yourself.
Yeah, that's true, Shireen Ben.
That's absolutely. So you fix yourself in good wishes and pure feelings,
Yes.
and let the other person do whatever they need to do.
And I also feel, and I think you do as well, Sister Shireen, is that the secret, silent feelings that you send out tend to be more profound than the words coming from your mouth. They can't reject the feelings, but they can reject the words.
Right, right. And I don't mean to harp on this, but I feel that when people get what you're saying is even when people get the vibration that you're trying to control someone, that's not going to change anything. They just get the vibration and then they reject that.
Yeah,
And so, sorry. So that's what happens.
they don't want to
And
be controlled.
yes, they don't want to be controlled, and you let them be. So there are a few questions here. The first question is, where can I see the previous episodes after our conversation, after our question and answer? So if you have any questions, you can chat me at SOI Sister Shireen, and I will ask the. But to answer this question, we get previous episodes. Please sign up for our emails, or you can go to our YouTube channel, Story of Immortality on YouTube, and you will see it. And if you sign up for our emails, we will send you the recordings of all of the previous episodes. Okay, so this person is asking a question based on the story you shared about that little girl with the heart and finding the murderer. So the question is, so part of the soul's energy was still in the heart?
The memories were in the heart. The memories. And there are 75 other stories of transplants where people have picked up either attitudes, lifestyles. Yes, because when it's in the heart, that feeling goes so intense, it stays in the heart. Now that heart was put in that new body, but eventually you could probably change it back, knowing these things and working with them and creating new energy in your heart. So we're always creating new energy, and that's what meditation is about.
And there is another question here. Wonderful session. Your stories and examples really helped. How can we find the courage to forgive those that have hurt us?
Do you love yourself? It comes down, do you love yourself? If you love yourself, there is no other option. You are hurting yourself daily, hourly, secondly, every time. You have to forgive them. They are playing their part, whatever reason they're playing their part. Think about that person and think about some good that person did. Usually it's someone who was very close to you, perhaps someone you love dearly, and they showered you with love and showered you with gifts. Remember that.
Mm-hmm. The next question, when I sit for meditation, my thoughts go back to work related things, how to keep those away so I actually meditate?
Yeah, this is a thing. What I do is I would talk to my mind, because it's the mind that keeps going back. It's like a monkey. And so you say, listen, mind, I want to meditate right now. I will get back to my work and to all those to do things that I have to pay attention to. But right now, I choose to just meditate. Try talking to yourself like that. It is amazing.
Okay. Another thing, thank you for these life-changing sessions. Question, how does one who is part of a parent let go when the children are lying or when they're getting addicted to things?
Well, I mean, there is also the power to face that we'll get into, and that'll be a very beautiful power. All the powers are beautiful, but they all interrelate with one another. So sometimes you need the power to face and say, dearest, are you really telling me the whole truth? Instead of saying something like, are you lying again? I mean, there's a way of presenting and communicating with others. And so it's beautiful to think of all the powers working together. And so there, you still have to have the power to let go, the power to face, and but do it in such a gentle way. So whatever we do with love, we do it with gentleness, and we take the best we can from each one. So with a child, that's what I would say. Was there another question with that? I don't, that's what I picked up anyway.
No, no, that's it. Um, such lovely presentations, pictorial, mental, and emotional expressions of letting go, let it rain, let it go, so wonderful. And then also, we have just in the chat box sent our YouTube channel, our email, and our registration. So you are in our database, and we will send you the previous recordings. Okay, so someone missed a session and they're asking if there's any makeup session. No, they just have to listen to the previous recording for now, previous recording. There's another question. What if you don't love yourself?
Well, meditation is a beginning to learn to love yourself, because what meditation does, it brings your true self out. And I'm not lying to you. I'm going to tell you the whole truth right now. So listen, you are a pure, peaceful, lovable, powerful soul. Might be covered up with some garbage because of different things that have happened to us in our lives. But as we think about this in meditation, and just as we muse, that beauty that you are, filled with love, peace, and purity, begins to grow just like a beautiful flower that you already are.
There's another question. Sometimes we think we let it go, but the memories, feelings come back randomly. How to let go once and for all?
You just have to keep working at it. And there was the word up there that said process. And so when that memory and feeling comes up, the mind or the soul is such a powerful soul that it's like a laser, and you see it. And then as soon as you see it, there are different methods you can do. You can see that image getting smaller and smaller and smaller and drifting far away from you. Another method is think about that situation, that the benefit was in that situation. Maybe your loved one gave you a divorce, wanted to give you a divorce, and you were crushed and you feel that hurt and pain. But now your life has changed so much, and it was really the best thing. So sometimes the most horrible things turn out to be the best thing for us in our overall lifespan. So there are a lot of different methods that you can come into. If you go to one of the Raja Yoga centers, you can talk with people, take the course, and they can guide you through some of these methods.
All right. So another thank you very much for this life-changing session. Is there any session for teens and kids? So we would have to send that separately to you. All right. So Dorothy Ben, our time's up. Thank you very much for that very enlightening and entertaining session.
Teens can come to this session. They understand more than adults.
Yes, teenagers are very smart. And anyone can come, right? People can come. Someone is saying they have a 7-year-old.
Yes.
And they'll understand whatever they understand. You
Right.
know, when we were doing the story of immortality, I remember this. Mary was sharing this story about cigarette butts. It's a long story, which I won't get into right now. But there was a 7-year-old who was listening in the background. His mom and his grandmom were listening to the story of immortality. And he that's the story he liked. And so as long as they have parental guidance, yes, and you're the parent, you can bring them and they can sit down. One last question. We are done after this. Let go. Sister Dorothy mentioned let go of the past with bad memories, but what if the past had good memories and the present is not good? Does the past hurt or help remembering how beautiful things were, but not in the present?
Well, I guess we have to work on the present as well and how to make that beautiful as well. Maybe people have become sour, and so you have to make life decisions to improve your present conditions, improve your present outlook on the situation or the people you're dealing with. And sometimes we have to let go of certain relationships in our life. That's a power to let go as well.
Right. So thank you so much, Sister Dorothy. And the team, can you put up the slide of our email? If you can take a picture, you can send us an email. You can register for our email, so you can visit our YouTube channel however you want. And while you're doing that, let's have a moment of silence before we end. Om Shanti, everyone.